Alright class, tonight we're going to look at dividing polynomials, and we're going to do it using long division. So to divide polynomials using long division, we're going to take this polynomial right here and divide it by this polynomial right here. So the very first thing we want to do is we want to order the terms starting with our highest exponent. So ordering it, cubic term first, quadratic term second, linear term, and our constant. Draw our division symbol, and then we're dividing by x minus 5. Okay, so in order to divide this, you want to figure out is x times what is 6x cubed. So remember there's a number in front of the x, it's a 1. So 1 times what is 6? 6. X times what is x cubed? X squared. So now that we know what's going to give us this number under here, we'll go ahead and multiply both of these by this term. So 6x squared times x, 6x cubed. And these should always match when you divide. Multiplying the second one, 6x squared times negative 5. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. X squared times nothing is x squared. Now, just like in the traditional division problem, we would subtract. So these two terms gives us 0. And subtracting these two terms, you get 5x squared. Then we bring down the next term. And we start the process again. So x times what is 5x squared? Well, 1 times positive 5 is 5, and x times x is x squared. And then we multiply it times the second one, we get negative 25x. And we subtract. So this gives us 0. And subtracting these, we get negative 4x. Bring down the next term. And we start the process again. So 1x times what is negative 4x? So 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. And so negative 4 times 1x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. We subtract, and this gives us 0, this gives us 0, so this is our remainder, which there is no remainder. So this polynomial divided by this polynomial is this polynomial. This is your answer. Since there's no remainder, x minus 5 is a factor of this polynomial. And we can also tell that we have x equals 5 as a root or a solution. Okay, let's look at another example. So this time, we have a 4th degree polynomial divided by a 2nd degree polynomial. Notice that we have some missing terms. So when you write this out, anytime you have a missing term, you're going to put it in as a 0. So 0x cubed, so there's our cubic term. There's our quadratic term. There's our linear term, and then our constant goes on the end. Okay, dividing that by x squared plus 2. Same process as before. X squared times what is x to the 4th? So, multiplying this times both of these, we get x to the 4th. X squared times 2 is 2x squared. That's going to go, make sure you put it under the like term. Okay, subtracting, so that gives us 0. That's already 0, so we don't have to worry about that. 0 minus 2 is negative 2x squared. Next thing we're going to bring down is the minus 4. Alright, same process as before. So what times x squared is negative 2x squared? Why negative 2, of course. So negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Subtract. Remember, we don't have to worry about these terms. And subtracting, those cancel, 0 remainder. So here is our answer. Okay, let's look at another example. This will be example number 3. So again, the first thing we want to do is we want to order this. So we're going to start with the degree. It's a 4th degree polynomial. Leading coefficient of negative 3. Now notice it has a 4th degree, but the 3rd degree, the cubic term, is missing. So don't forget, when you're missing a term, you need to add it in as a 0. Okay, then our quadratic term, and then our linear term, and then our constant on the end. Okay, we're going to divide this by x minus 2. And here we go. So remember, this is 1x minus 2, so start off with your coefficient. So 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. X times x cubed is x to the 4th. Remember, when multiplying, you're adding the exponents. So this times this is this. These should always come out to be the same. Okay, multiplying the second term, so negative 3 and negative 2 makes positive 6 x cubed. And we subtract. So those cancel. 0 minus 6 is negative 6. Remember, we can only combine like terms. That's why we always have to line them up. That's why we needed this. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any place to put this cubic term. Okay? All right, back to the same process again. So 1 times what is negative 6? Negative 6. X times x squared is x cubed. So this times this is this. And then this times this, that's going to be a positive 12x squared. And then we subtract. So that's going to cancel. 2 minus 12 is negative 10. Okay, bringing down the next term, the linear term. So back to the process again. 1 times negative 10. 1 times negative 10 is negative 10. X times x is x squared. There's our first term again, just like here. Just like here. That's the key. Multiplying this term by the second term here, we get positive 20x. Subtract. So those cancel. Negative 10 minus 20 is negative 30x. Bring down the constants. Start the process all over again. So 1 times what is negative 30? And then there's the x, so we don't need to put an x on here. So 1x times negative 30 is negative 30x. Negative 2 times negative 30 is positive 60. Notice they're the same. So they cancel. 65 minus 60 is 5. So notice we have a remainder. First of all, that tells us that this is not a factor of this polynomial because it doesn't go into it evenly. Okay? So we have a remainder. So the way that we write a remainder is we take the remainder and we tack it onto the end of this. So since it's positive 5, we would put plus, and we put 5 over the divisor, x minus 2. And that would be our answer. So tomorrow we're going to learn about synthetic division, another way of dividing polynomials. I hope you guys are having a great night. See you tomorrow.